122. No person of your kind human being is entitled to kill another person of your kind human being, except if it is done in extreme defense, and therefore everyone take care that he or she does not kill someone of your kind human being, by accident, inattention, or out of carelessness. If however someone of your kind human being is killed, murdered, by mistaken attention, or carelessness, man, woman or child, then the unintended fallibility shall be punished for a time of 3 years at a place of fulfillment of guidelines, secluded place/isolated island, after which assistance and help shall be provided to the bereaved family of the person who was killed, murdered, in the form of manual work and with silver and gold money/financial means, according to the earlier responsibility of the person who was killed, murdered. But if the bereaved family waives the assistance and help out of mildness, then this shall be rightful. If however a person of your kind human being is deliberately, intentionally killed, murdered, for whatever reason, then the manslayer, murderer, man or woman, shall be subject to punishment by seclusion of the sexes, exclusion from society with separation of woman from man and man from woman, in a place of fulfillment of guidelines, secluded place/isolated island, with the time of punishment set at 30 years, after which the jurisdiction shall establish whether the fallible one, man or woman, has undergone a change and turned to the truth and to the laws. And if the change has come about, then freedom shall be granted again, after which assistance and help shall be provided to the bereaved family of the person who was killed, murdered, in the form of manual work and with silver and gold money/financial means, according to the earlier responsibility of the person who was killed, murdered. But if the bereaved family waives the assistance and help out of mildness, then this shall be rightful. If, however, children are guilty of killing with malice aforethought with intent, then they shall be subject to a punishment at a place of fulfillment of guidelines, secluded place/isolated island, for a period of time appropriate according to their age, which shall be determined by the severity of the deed. And children are regarded as all who have not yet grown out of youth, not yet adult. Equals differs from state to state. Manslayers, murderers of any kind who deliberately, intentionally kill people of your kind human beings, shall be subject to the same punishment, without differentiation, of 30 years. If however a man, a woman or a child kills, murders, whilst their inner world consciousness and their psyche is confused or sick, then they shall not be sent for punishment but to a place for healing their confusion or illness, so that they may once again live up to their well-being and power of life, as well as to the clarity of their inner world consciousness and their psyche, following which they shall once again enjoy their freedom. If however healing the confusion or illness proves impossible, then they shall be made to stay in a place corresponding, clinic, psychiatric hospital, etc., for the duration of their life, for the good of their health and their safety. However, it is not given that those fallible of killing, murdering, of any kind or other nefarious ones and villains or lawbreakers shall be harmed in their body and limbs, extremities, or in their psyche or their inner world consciousness, or chastised by cruelty, torture, or coerced into a confession admission. Truly, no person of your kind human being is entitled to harm another person of your kind human being, to commit cruelty, torture, on him or her, or to kill him or her. And yet whoever deliberately, intentionally kills, murders, their reward shall be the fire of destruction and misery which burns unceasingly in the admonishment conscience. 123. When you associate with people of your kind, fellow human beings, then only go to them. If you take the path on which you have first undertaken pertinent, thorough/proper investigations in order to discover who is the next one to whom you are turning. Therefore, first consider which words you want to choose when you encounter the person, so that you do not say to everyone who offers you a peaceful greeting that this person is a knowing in the truth. 124. Truly, you are striving for the goods of earthly life, Yet in the teaching of the laws and recommendations of the wellspring of life creation, given by the teaching of the prophets is goodness and fullness. Once you were without the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, but the true prophets poured the teaching of truth over you in kind-heartedness so that you shall be knowledgeable in their richness, but you have forgotten all of it because you did not want to heed the teaching. Therefore it befits you today that you undertake considerable thorough/correct research, giving attention, so that you will once again be knowledgeable in the teaching of the prophets and follow it. 125. Those amongst who sit still remain inactive, although you are not infirm, and those amongst you who put chattels and silver and gold to use for the cause of the truth, and do not conduct evil strife for the sake of the teaching of truth. You are different in your doings, because those who sit still remain inactive are indulging in the knowing and bad, whereas you who fight well and peacefully for the teaching of truth, you are bringing down tribulation on yourselves from the unknowing ones and the indolent ones. But in yourselves you are creating love and peace as well as consonance, harmony, and freedom. 126. Consider that the teaching of truth does not bestow any levels of excellence through knowledge and following of it, neither benevolence nor particular forgiveness, because truly if you want to be benevolent and forgiving, then you must create that in yourselves, as well as the levelless excellence which is common to anyone who strives for the knowledge of the teaching of truth. 127. Truly, those amongst you who remain far from the truth, you will be carried off by everything evil and by all disasters, so you miss the goodness and the values of life, because you are not striving for the truth of the primal power creation and its laws and recommendations, as you treat yourselves as weak ones of life. And for you weak ones, the truth is so far away that you cannot make your way to it unless you change your attitude, mentality, and place all false teachings of fabulated, invented gods and tin gods behind your backs, so that you strive to reach the real truth in front of them. If, however, you do not follow the path of truth of the primal power creation, and continue to persist in ignorance of the truth, then you will continue to create the destiny within yourselves that your inner nature is a place where the shadow world hell resides, the fire of which will consume you. 128. And many amongst you have fallen prey to weakness, man and woman, as well as children, all of whom you teach about weakness from the cradle through the false teachings of the false prophets and priests and other servants and /helpers, of fabulated, invented thought up gods and tin gods, so they cannot take a decision and find a way up to recognize the teaching of the laws and recommendations of the primal power creation, and to understand and follow them. 129. Truly, all your fabulated, invented gods and tin gods, as well as your false prophets and your priests and servants of gods and servants of tin gods, are unable to eradicate your faults that you commit, and therefore they cannot redeem your culpability which you bring down on yourselves, because the redeemers of your culpability and the eradicators of your faults are you yourselves. 130. And anyone who moves away leaves their dwelling or their country in order to stand up for carry further the cause of the truth in freedom and consonance, harmony, without cajoling, proselytizing, and without the weapons of Gevalt and of death, but only by using the word and only letting those hear it who ask about it, you will find sufficient places of refuge and of fullness on earth amongst those who are thirsting for the truth. 131. However, whoever leaves the house or their country in order to stand up for carry further the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, shall walk on the same path of selflessness as the true prophets, and in doing so, make sure that he or she is not done to death by those who persecute and slander, calumniate him or her, and who are out for his or her blood.